I want to talk about learned helplessness real quick. For those of you that don't know, learned helplessness is this learned behavior. Basically, if you keep exposing yourself to stressful and repeated failure, you start to believe that nothing can be accomplished. It's very much related to hopelessness. And when I was studying teaching pedagogies a couple of years ago, this is a subject that I came across that is, really important in teaching because it's very common for students or for people to experience that. Here's a really simple example. If I talk to a lot of young Latinos, or especially as I was studying computer science and I was saying that I'm studying math or whatever, they would say, "Oh, I'm not smart enough for that." That's learned helplessness. And as someone that likes teaching, I'd be lying if I said that it didn't rub off on me to a certain degree. When I show up here, it often feels like I'm going to a classroom full of students that are destined to drop out of college and high school. Which, believe me, if you really care about teaching, like, that hurts. It's very painful. And one thing that would kind of help me along the way is that if it hurts and if I feel pain as a result of that, it still means that I care. And this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of critical of the overconsumption of rage politics, because it spreads hopelessness, it spreads misery, it spreads this feeling that we're actually doing something by participating online when we're really just, training this idea of becoming helpless, that we don't belong in certain spaces, we're not smart enough for certain things, we're not represented in X, Y, and Z because of these, socioeconomic consequences that are fundamental like gravity. But how do you solve a condition like learned helplessness? Ultimately, it's kind of a scary process because you have to expose yourself to successful attempts to start to believe that things can actually work. For example, I have well over 100,000 people here that originated from representing people in technology and education, and they genuinely don't give a shit. So closing that door is difficult, and starting over in a different space, opening up a different door it's hard. But as a result of that, you can find people that, genuinely care about what you're doing. People that are interested, that want more, that are paying attention, that fundamentally support you. And that's kind of the thing about learned helplessness. It's cyclical in its behavior because in some ways you kind of find comfort staying in the same place. You're in control of the fact that you've lost control of your agency, of your free will. And it's just something to reflect on. If you really believe that you can't focus, that you're a procrastinator, that you don't have the motivation, the discipline, that there's these conditions that are just holding you down, really take a good hard look at the space that you're spending time in, what you're giving attention to, and ask yourself if that's really moving you forward or keeping you in the same place. There's this idea that, the door of mediocrity is always going to be available for you. It's not very hard to acquire that. And sometimes it just takes courage to start over and to, do things from a brand new perspective.